Hello and welcome to the next round of the International GT League. We're here now for Maggiore for the 6th race of the 2nd season. After Bathurst, Stig takes a 6-point lead over Brownie, who Brownie's definitely going to want to come back in this race, and so we could see an interesting race to hopefully turn the title as we go into the closing stages of this season. We're now on the grid. It's Stig v Rob who takes pole position, sharing the front row with Extra Frosty. Lights out and away they go. It's a great start from Stig as usual. Someone's got a lot of wheel spin off the line. I think it might have been Resdale. Lookman getting an excellent start, charging up the inside of everyone, and it looks like they're going almost far wide going into the first corner. Lookman's gone all the way over to second. Frosty goes out wide. Many people have gone out wide there, and that's cost him. Now Lookman managed to get from the back all the way up to second place with a brilliant start from him. Resdale goes to the inside now. He's trying to go for third, and he does indeed keep third place with ahead of Helgas. Frosty going side by side with Brown. He tries to have a look down the inside of Helgas. Helgas goes out wide. Frosty's bouncing off of everyone. I think someone drowned. Well, I believe in all the smoke. It's Resdale has dropped all the way to the back. Disappointing for him. He had a decent start. He was up into third place, and now he's dropped all the way to the back. Extra Frosty slides his way ahead of Crazy Buttocks now. VG028 is up into 6th place now. Here comes Melond on the inside of Long Live Helgast. He has a look down the inside. Does he keep it? Does he give it? Not quite there. Helgast not quite out of... not being overtaken by Melond here. Now Melond is being under threat from BJ Rubber 28. Is Rubber going to have a look? This hairpin is quite a popular overtaking spot. If he can get the exit coming out the exit, it looks like he does. He moves all the way over to the inside. He gets the inside line long before they head into the braking zone. Does he brake late enough to send it down the inside? Does he have a look? No, he doesn't. He backs out. Although no, he doesn't. He does go through, and that's an overtake from BJ Rubber 28 as he slides his way past down the inside of the hairpin. It's a brilliant overtake from him. Lookman and Stig v Rob have really tried to open up a gap. Lookman has had a disappointing season. He's been miles off the pace. Now all of a sudden he's running around in second. He was definitely the big winner on that start. Someone who was a big loser on that start was Resdale. He's dropped all the way down to the last place. I think he just got involved in some sort of contact whilst the field was also bunched up. Now Melond has a look down the inside going into the final corner. He looks to have overshot the braking zone. Yes, he has. I think he's just outbraked himself, gone out wide, and that's not a position. That's not how you overtake now as they all go into a single file line. He's head down to turn 1 for the end of the first lap as he goes on to lap 2 now. It's Stig v Beacher 28, I believe, as they contact again. Melond pushing him round. Extra Frosty has a look on Melond, and Crazy Buttocks tries to get past Extra Frosty as well. As here comes Crazy Buttocks. He has a look down the inside going into turn 3 as he held the position in the Mitsubishi versus a Hyundai. He's not quite got it, but does he get the extra driving line? Tries to get the over and under now in the acceleration into this downhill hairpin. Is it enough for Crazy? Yes it is. Yes it is. He moves up into 7th place. Next to Frosty drops back in position. Melond still behind BG over 28. Lookman Ali leads this race. Now here comes Melond. He tries to cut back and they run up to the S's. He's got him, but is he going to be able to keep it? He's on the outside for the first of the S's, and down the inside, great defending there from BJ over 28. He kept his cool, and he held that inside. Melon tried an overtake. This is looking like some great racing here. Meanwhile, Brownie is V's up into 4th place, up behind Long Live Helga. Stig v Robin second, and Lookman Ali, the reigning champion, is leading his first race of season 2. He won many races over the course of last season. He won 3, which was the man who won the most races last season. Now he's leading his first race this season. He's not managed to win a race this season. It's the first time he's been leading, and now he's got Stig v Rob, one of the title contenders, who's leading the championship. The man in second in the championship is this man, Brownie SV, who's going to want to close that gap down to Brownie. Lookman's completely gone off. He's completely cutting there. That's not the line you want through there as he goes out wide again. I think he's just making mistakes now. And Long Live Helgast almost takes a look down the inside of Stig v Rob. Lookman's gone very off. Lookman is all over the track, and that's not ideal. He's gone off and he's lost not 1 but 2 places now as Helgast moves up into 2nd place. Stig v Rob retakes the lead as we go on to Helgast's helmet cam down the inside into turn 1. Easy move. Nice. Kept his composure, and there we go. He's under the panic and dismay of Lookman, who's now who's now massively under threat from Brownie SV, who's been leading the championship for so long this season as Brownie. Now Lookman is being under threat for that 3rd place position. Here comes Melon in 5th. who's managed to make his way ahead of BG28, who's coming down the hill. Just lost a lot of time. BG28's got extra Frosty to defend against. I'm gonna have to fend off against Frosty now. As we can see, here comes Melon rising up the hill into the S's. Lookman's gone! Lookman's gone! He's all the way off on the track. Only one can wonder what has happened there, and that's disastrous for him. He's dropping all the way down the order. He's plunging down the order like when you throw a rock in the water. How? It really must be just frustrating for Lookman at this point. He's now, yet again, dropping right to the back. As all Lookman's season just keeps getting worse and worse, race on race, he keeps dropping further and further back. Now Brownie's having a look on Stick v Rob. The two title rivals are going wheel to wheel, and Melon's like, hey guys, can I join in? And now Melon's not even going to ask. He's going to go for it around the outside of Brownie. That move didn't work, but surely he's going to try and keep with him. Helgas leads this race from Stick v Rob, from Brownie in third. These two will, in a desperate battle, they both are going to be racing each other hard for position. Now, if Brownie gets second and Stig finishes third, Stig will still lead the championship. So Brownie in truth kind of needs to be taking as many points away from Stig as he can as he go around the final corner. Is it enough for Brownie to get the exit out of here and launch himself onto the straight? It doesn't look like it. Brownie's definitely not. He's not quite there yet on Stig v Rob, although Brownie's in the middle of everything. He's going to have to try and not only defend against Stig v Rob, but work his way on an attack on Melon. He's going to have to defend against an attack on Meloni. Down the inside, he tries to have a look at Stig v Rob, get a horrible exit out of the second corner, and Brownie falls him through the third. And now they launch themselves up into a light braking zone into the fourth corner, and tries to go around the outside, accelerates away. There's Robbo and Frosty. Crazy goes off in the distance. However, as you can just see, going down toward the bottom of the hill, Brownie's still on the back of Stig v Rob. He's not going to make a move. Yes, he does. I think Stig tries to defend. Malone had a look on Brownie. That didn't work. Here comes BG28, still defending against extra Frosty. Now, strategy hasn't come into this race, but we're expecting a one stop is possible here. But I think they might make a two stop as well. But the one stop definitely something that can be done. We'll just have to wait and see what these individual drivers will go for strategy wise. Obviously, sometimes you have to wait till a race situation to decide what strategy based on the tyre wear, the fuel consumption. And now, here we go, Melon makes a move on Brownie SV. Helgas makes a defensive job on Stig. Melon makes the position, and that moves him up onto the podium. Now, Helgas did a bit of defending work against Stig v Rob. These four are still going nose to tail as they go through this final sector of the lap, which is a good final sector. Helgas looking still under pressure from Stig v Rob. BG28 has really gained on that lap, and he's actually opened up a tiny margin over extra Frosty. So I think this final sector, BG28 seems to just do quite well. His Toyota seems to just hook it up, and as here they come now toward the end of the lap. I wonder if anyone's going to dive into the pits. It still seems relatively early. Stig v Rob drives it very wide. I think Helgas is going in. Yes, he does. Helgas peels off the driving line into the pit lane and releases these three into the wild. BG28 obviously moves up the position now into fourth place. Melon and Stig v Rob are going wheel to wheel as Melon makes the move into the lead, and he's done it. He's overtaken Stig v Rob and back Stig v Rob into the championship rival. Brownie versus Stig. Stig versus Brownie. This is something we've wanted to see all season, and every race roughly for the last couple of races they have been near each other on track to be going wheel to wheel, and we're seeing great wheel to wheel racing. And the fact that it's for the championship as well, both of them will want this season 2 title. They're both going for it, and it looks incredibly close between these two. They're both two very quick, both quick and evenly matched, and they're both ready to go for it, and they're both going for this season's title. I wonder which one's gonna get it. You do know what I miss are in these races, because as we come into the business end of the championship, things are getting exciting between Stig and Brownie. I wonder how this is all going to end. Stig v Rob tries to go around the outside. Yes, he does. He gets it around the outside because he gets the better exit coming out of the S's, and on the run down the hill and into the hairpin. Here comes Brownie SV on the run on Melon. So Melon is losing 2 places, but can Brownie do the double? Can he do the double under the brakes? Going into the hairpin, not quite. He only almost loses the place to Melon as well, so that almost went backwards for Brownie then. However, it did not. Brownie did gain the position and is now up into second. So Malone, and of course there he just lost 2 places. I think his car is not exactly the strongest when it comes out of those aces and on into the hairpin. Not the strongest of cars, and that's evidenced by the fact that he keeps losing position and time whilst doing that. So onto lap 5, we're about to go into the halfway mark of this race. Melond in the pits, BG28 in the pits, the Toyota and the Porsche both come into the pit lane, releases the top 3. Now, if you can pit lap 6 onwards, I think you could be on for a one-stop, so I believe the top 3 will have fuel saved now, looked after the tyres, and can now make it in on a one-stop strategy. I believe if I pit now, everyone who's already pitted might actually be forced onto a 2-stop. Could be the case, but which strategy comes out? Which strategy comes out on top as the better strategy? So, as we watch the onboard now, I believe this is on board with Extra Frosty right at the start. Yes, Extra Frosty started second. Stick v Rob leads. You can just see Stick v Rob always seems to get an amazing start. He just shoots off into turn 1. Now, this was when things got a little bit hectic coming out of turn 1. Frosty was one of the people on the outside that goes, I don't know if he got squeezed off, but he ended up off. It tends to happen quite a lot. Frosty hits Taze, he tries to get around the outside. There's Lookman now, as you can see, he's already going in front. There goes Razor Tay up into 3rd. There's Helgast, and he's outside now. This was where it all went wrong. The certain drivers, Tay gets clipped behind and hit again and again and again. So that's why Razor's hair goes round. Now we're on board with Helgast. Long live Helgast. You can see the cars in front. So he started deep down the order in 8th place on the grid. Got a decent start. So did Robbo. Melond didn't, or at least one of them didn't. I think it might have been Tay that didn't get a good start, and then Melond, obviously, it all just catapulted back, and then both Robbo and Helgast had to properly weave across the track to avoid any drastic contact at lights out, as we can see him just finding his way through and biding his time, and then this was where it all kicked off between Frosty and Tay. He gets hit there, and again. Now Helgast has gone off the track to avoid anything, and that actually did cost him time, and at that point Res Tay's gone spinning around the back. This is Lookman, so yes, it was 100%. Tay was the one that got lots of wheel spin off the start, slices himself through that gap. He's up into 3rd, and then Frosty, when you're on the outside of that turn 1 at the start, it's really difficult to keep the car on the track because of the nature of the corner. If you're not on that apex, the inside, it's tricky to keep it on the track and still not lose much time. But this was how Lookman got into 2nd. Unfortunately, it was not enough for him to stay there. He ended up dropping all the way back, drifted a little bit out wide there. This was now onto lap 2. This was when Stig got overtaken, so he's on the graph there. Lookman wasn't, and that's why he was able to just carry that speed in the run into this corner at the bottom of the hill, into the brakes. Yep, there he goes, and all the way up and around. Back to the racing then. Lookman Ali's being overtaken by Razor Tay, who's just been having to focus on gaining time after being involved in that incident right at the start. Razor Tay, he's back up the order. BG28 into 7th. Stig 6th is Melond. Crazy Buttock, he's up into 4th. Extra Frosty, Brownie, Stig v Rob. All 3 drivers that have not pitted now, Brownie and Stig, off on their own. Frosty's just there in the background in 3rd, but can either of these for the championship make a difference? We shall have to see. Here comes Helgast, Melond, and he's being chased down by BG28 going up into the hairpin. Does he get a better run here? Yes, he looks to have done. Look how much he's just closed up now going in down the hill. He goes down the hill. Melond goes to the inside to try and defend against BG28. BG28 commits to the outside. Is it enough to get around the outside? No, it's not. It's not quite enough. Melond does defend against Robbo on that occasion, but Robbo, knowing that, he's going to want to try it again to go down the inside on the outside. I wonder if he's going to try and turn in early, try to commit to that inside line. Stig v Rob then in the pits, Branny's V in the pits, Extra Frosty in the pits. They're all pitting in the lead, and where does that give these two battling out on the track now as they come round to out the penultimate corner? It's still Melond ahead of BG28. BG28, this has been a season of stark contrast to his season 1. In season 1 with the Citroen, he was just so far behind that he's gotten the exit out of Melon, and Melon has made an error, and that's cost him. And BJ Robert 28 just casually cruises up into second place as the leaders pit in. There they go. Melon goes down the inside into turn 1. Does BJ Robert 28 defend going into the second corner? He tries, holding it on the inside line. This is nice. Clean racing between the pair. Stick v Rob and Brownie Speed going wheel to wheel. And there's a bit of contact there. I wonder if the championship battle is getting to the head. Extra Frosty now behind Racer Tay. We saw how that ended on the first lap. And BJ Robert 28 comes around the outside and has officially lost a position. A lap battle that went on. An overtake that went on for 4 corners, and Melon finally takes second place. As I was saying, this season has been a season of stark contrast between for BJ Robert 28 in the Citroen. In season 1 he was just so far back, especially at this race in particular. He was miles behind and couldn't really do anything. Whereas this season he's been more in the fight, and now he's sat in 3rd place. So it has most definitely been a season of massive differences compared to last, because Robbo is in that fight, he's picking up points, he's getting results, and here he is now doing well. Here comes Brownie SV around the out, tries to go around the outside, Stick v Rob, and he does it, just gets the better exit. I wonder if BJ Robert 28 gets it past Melon. Yes, he does. Brownie SV, however, doesn't get past Stick, tries to get on the exit speed, and there's 4 cars going side by side. They're all going 2 by 2 going up, and BJ Robert 28 does get the position, and he does move into second place. However, it's still not quite there, because Melon is just still behind him. Brownie SV, Racer Tay, Stick v Rob, and Extra Frosty. What a train. We're all getting up now on lap 7 of 12, and they're still very close with each other. What fantastic racing we're seeing. What close competitive racing we're getting. BJ Robert 28 then holds second place. Melon moves into 3rd. Helgast has got a decent advantage, however, because he pitted in so early. I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to most definitely pit in again. It's not looking like he's going to be able to stay out till the end of this race. So unfortunately I don't think Helgast is going to win this race, which is unfortunate for him. As you can just see the massive amounts of cars all flying around the 3rd corner as they head around turn 4 now. As they come, and then it's down the hill into the bottom of at the bottom of the hill as they run down into turn 5. A brilliant overtaking opportunity, however, if you need the exit out of turn 4. Stick v Rob moves to the outside now. We see very rarely an overtaker on the outside of turn 5, and that's why it just doesn't quite get done. But if you can get on the inside, you can do it. However, it's easy to counteract. Here comes Stick v Rob. He goes to the outside for turn 6 at the top of the hill as you rise up the hill into the S's. Continue to rise up the hill from turn 7, 8. A sort of high speed, it's similar to a high speed chicane around the S's into turn 9, and then you go try to get the exit speed out of turn 10. You want to keep your speed up all the way through that S section, and then you run down the hill into turn 11 at the hairpin. As here comes Brownie SV to have a look around the outside of Melon. Stick v Rob, however, uses that as an opportunity to get up ahead of Brownie SV. Extra Frosty tries to get past the inside of Racer Tay. These are very close, all racing together. BJ Robert 28 sort of broken away a little bit. Melon has dropped off, and now bear in mind that's a crucial battle, which I didn't actually pick up on, between BJ Robert 28 and Melon, because as it stands, BJ Robert 28 is in 7th place in the championship. However, they are both equal in championship points. So it is actually a really crucial battle here between those two for the championship. Whoever is ahead at the end of this race between those two will take 7th. Long live Helgast in the pits, Melon in the pits, Rezate in the pits. BJ Robert 28 continues. However, as BJ Robert 28 continues on to lead an international GT League race. Stick v Rob and Brownie SV getting all touchy-feely going into turn 1, and Stick v Rob just edges in front. But something I never thought I'd see is that BJ Robbo 28 is leading an international GT League race. What a race this is turning out to be from Robbo. He's getting a really decent go at this, and he's now ended up in the lead. Yes, he's probably going to have to pit in again, but he's surely going to want to relish this opportunity in the fact that he is leading a race, and who knows when this will happen again. Either way though, he's coming under threat from Stick v Rob. We'll see how he handles leading a race, something he's not done much of, so it's a new situation for him to be ahead of everyone. He's leading against Stick v Rob and Gran ESV, both charging in behind. Extra Frosty just hanging around in the background. He's got 3 of probably the quickest drivers in this league behind him, and he's leading. He's going to have to try and pull something out the bag here if he's going to want to try and continue on to lead. Here he comes then into the hairpin. Stick v Rob, Gran ESV and Extra Frosty line up in second through to 4th. They're all still on his tail until any one of them can get this. What a race this has been for the driver, for BJ Robert to the Toyota driver. He missed at Kyoto, which is unfortunate because he definitely think he could have done well there. Melon on the back of Long Live Helgast. Now as they come up through this sort of left-right high speedness of that, I don't really know what type of corners they are, but if you do know, comment down below. They're definitely something. Anyway then, here comes Melon, still on the back of Helgast, challenging for 6th place. They want to get as close. These two will want to get as close to BJ Robbo 28 as they can. As Robbo's in the pits, race leader Robbo pits in. He's no longer the race leader. He releases Stig, Brownie and Extra Frosty. But I believe at one stop in, so it's unfortunate for Robbo that his strategy, it just didn't quite work out for him. Here he is in the pit lane. Where does he come out? Is he going to come out yet? Yes, he's coming out of the pit lane now, as we just saw. He's behind Helgast. He's behind Melon. Is he ahead of Tay? Yes, he is. Now, the crucialness of this battle. Melon versus BJ Robert 28 for 7th place in the championship. However, Melon on the back of Helgast. Is he going to go for a move? And Racer Tay is going to have to start getting these results because he's trying to defend his 3rd place in the championship. Helgast looks to be able to get up into 3rd as well. Finishes like this, I believe Helgast will make it up into 4th place, whilst he's a fair bit away from Tay. Some good results. If Tay gets these bad races in Suzuka and Le Mans, it looks like Helgast might have a late charge going for 3rd, but I'm not sure. I think it might be just too far out for him. It will be something though if he can do it. Crazy sits in 4th place. Meanwhile, up at the front, these 3 have absolutely run away with it. It kind of was in doubt at one point. It looked as though anyone could have won this race, but in the end Stick v Roberts emerged the leader in this late stage of the race. Now Melon on the back of Helgast. Is he going to go for it down the inside into the hairpin? He moves over, has a look. It's not enough, and away they go. Both Robbo and Melon go off doing the exact same thing. Tay sweeps all the way across, grabs them both, and now they've lost 2 positions now. Original 28 drops to 8th place, which must be really annoying. He was once a race leader. It's something he can now proudly say. His crazy goes from the outside, Helgast goes down the inside, and that's an overtake from Helgast up into 4th place. Tay got taken out at the start, so a great recovery drive from Racer Tay. He moves up into 6th, and Melon now to 7th, and all the way to 8th, which is frustrating for him because he was once a race leader. BJ Robert 28, who can now proudly say he has led an IGTL race. He's closing in on Melon, who's closing in on Tay, who's closing in on Crazy, who really has started to drop away in pace in this race. Crazy's never really looked on it, and he keeps just dropping down the order, and that's caused Tay to really close up. The Mitsubishi versus the Subaru versus the Porsche versus the Toyota. 4 different manufacturers, 4 different cars, and it looks as though we got 4 different cars from 3 different countries. 2 different countries. 3 of the 4 cars are Japanese. It says it all, really. 3 of these 4 cars. We've got the Mitsubishi, the Subaru. The Subaru, however, of Racer 10, number 16, goes a little off. Melon now on the back in the Porsche, the only German car in this little battle going on here, the only non-Japanese, and now Racer 10 moves ahead of Crazy Buttocks. Crazy drops the position into 6th, and he's now backing Melon up into Robbo. Robbo's really gained. Look at this, the speed Robbo's got coming over the hill. This is all nose to tail as they go up on top of the hill. BJ Robbo 28 moves over to the inside. Melon moves over to the inside. They're going 4 wide. They're just casually going 4 wide in the run down into the hairpin. And BJ Robbo 28's got them all. He has down the inside into the hairpin as he get. Unbelievably, BJ Robert 28 has just casually made a triple overtake. You know, as you do, go from 8th to 5th, as you do. Now, Race 10 has dropped out of all that as well on Melon. And now BJ Robert 28 moves all the way up into 5th. He's demanding a great result out of this one. He is driving everything out of that car. Racer Tay all over the back as he drifts out wide. So does Crazy, but nowhere near as wide as Racer Tay. Melon still on the back of BJ Rubber 28. These two have been going at it for the majority of the race. This is very similar to that of the Monza race a bit earlier in the season, when Resate and BJ Rubber 28 were going wheel to wheel for like the entire 12 laps. There wasn't barely a minute's piece with those two as they cruise down into the final lap. Who will grab 5th place? It's all on the cards here. Now, meanwhile, as we've got the leaders, Melon spun, and Melon is round. Unbelievable in the final corner. I think he just got excited on the wheel. He did the similar thing in Bathurst in the last race. How disastrous that is for him, as he's now spun round. It's not good news for Austrian people as their driver spins and drops to the back. It's really unfortunate for him. He's had such a good race, and it was very similar to the Bathurst race. He could have done so well, but on the first lap he just got so excited on the throttle and he went round. It's probably something I'm really picking up with Melon, is he's just struggling a little with keeping the rears. He sometimes, when he's close to cars, I think that's just what he jumps the gun coming in the acceleration. Meanwhile, BJ with 20. Oh my god, Melon's not giving up though. He's going for 7th, and yes he does. The Porsche moves up into 7th place. Resate then on the back of BJ over 28, trying to gain. Helgas looks to be losing time to BJ over 28. It's unfortunate that there's not enough laps in this race. Brownie SV, oh, he's all over the grass. Is the pressure getting to him in his final lap to fend off Extra Frosty and come home in 2nd? He's going slow as they come round into the penultimate corner. Extra Frosty versus Brownie SV as they head round the penultimate corner into the final corner. But one man who has done really well to emerge victorious is Stig V-Rob. That's another victory, 2nd consecutive race win here. And there goes Brownie SV. He cruises across the line. Extra Frosty also cruises across the line. He stops. I think they might have had a penalty they were clearing. Clearly Frosty's not cleared enough, as Helgas has actually moved up into 3rd. BJ Otway unfortunately not close enough to those to pick up positions in the penalties, but a strong result to get him into 5th. Melon in the end finishes in 6th. Resate recovers for 7th, and it's Crazy Buttocks in 8th, and a frustrating race for Luckman, who gets 9th. This man though continues to extend his championship lead, and he'll be loving this. However, because we've got 2 races, you've got to subscribe, because you do not want to miss any more of this. It's getting exciting. Can Brownie recover? He's losing ground. He's been doing so since the Nürburgring, and it doesn't look to be going his way. A driver who has done really well this race was BJ Robert 28. It's a race he will want to remember. So as we just quickly watch a replay now of this triple overtake, we're on board with BJ Rubber 28. This is lap 11 of 12. He's in 8th place, and all of them are there. Let's just watch in awe as he just. There's one. There's, because Melon tries to get past Crazy. Crazy tries to get past Taste. So they're pretty much going just a casual 4 wide, running down into the hairpin under the brakes, and he's just kept his composure, kept his cool, and he's done it. With that then though, we leave you with the fastest lap, who's yet again Resate, who's really racking up the fastest laps, and we'll see. I'm going to leave you now with the fastest lap, where going on to lap 10 of 12. Yet another fantastic lap from Racer Day, and that's how you do a lap of the Autodrome Lago Maggiore in 1 minute 54.837. So as your confirmation then, it was Stig Hero who took the victory over title rival Brown ESV, both won in the championship, but which direction will it go? Long Live Hell gets third place, puts him further up the order and gives him somewhat of an opportunity for third. However, it's a very far out reach. He's got like 20 points to gain, 19 to be precise. BJ Rubber 28 moves 1 point clear of Melond in 7th. Frosty might be slightly out of reach, and Luckman's hopefully starting to start picking up points, but that battle from Crazy to Luckman is getting close as well. There are still some drivers that have not entered, so if you're watching this and would like to get involved, please let either me or Extra Frosty know on PSN. Goodbye.